Welcome to Deep Sleep Harbor, a quiet place at the edge of the day where we slow down, let go, and gently drift into rest. Whether you're here for the first time or finding your way back again, you are so welcome. This channel is a space for soft endings, calm stories, and peaceful nights. A place where you do not need to keep up, figure things out, or hold yourself together quite so tightly. If you'd like, you can leave a comment below and let me know where you're listening from tonight. And for a little while, you can simply be here, exactly as you are, and let the night carry you the rest of the way. As you breathe in, let the air arrive gently. And as you breathe out, let the day begin to leave in small, quiet pieces. Again, breathing in slowly and breathing out even more softly. You do not need to force yourself to relax. You do not need to chase sleep. You do not need to be perfectly calm. You only need to become a little softer than you were a moment ago, and then a little softer still. If it feels right, let these quiet words settle somewhere inside you now. I am safe enough for this moment. I have done enough for today. I am allowed to rest before everything is finished. My body knows how to soften. My mind can grow quiet in its own time. I do not need to rush into sleep. Rest can begin before sleep arrives. And tonight, I am allowed to let go. And now, with the body a little heavier and the mind a little quieter, we can begin tonight's story. Imagine that you are standing at the beginning of a quiet path that leads toward the harbor. It is evening, not too late, but late enough that the brightness of the day has already softened into something calmer and kinder. The world is no longer asking much from anyone now. The air is cooler here, carrying that gentle mix of salt, wood, and distance that belongs only to places near still water. No one is hurrying you forward. There is no destination you must reach on time. Only a path, the dimming light, and the feeling that you are finally allowed to walk slowly. You begin to move. The ground beneath your feet is even and steady, and each step seems to arrive at exactly the right time. Nothing pulls at you. Nothing presses from behind. The path curves gently, and with each few steps, the harbor reveals a little more of itself. First, the outline of wooden posts, then the hint of a dock stretching quietly over the water, then a few small lanterns glowing low and warm in the deepening blue of the evening, and finally, the water itself, smooth, darkening, and quietly holding the last of the light. There is nothing dramatic here, nothing bright enough to wake the mind, nothing sharp enough to disturb the body. Everything is quiet in a way that makes your own body want to become quiet too. As you continue walking, the day behind you begins to feel a little farther away. Not because it has disappeared, but because it no longer needs to stand so close. The conversations can soften. The plans can soften. The unfinished things can soften. For now, they are not being ignored. They are only being set down at a gentler distance. You are still yourself. Your life is still your life. But for this little while, you do not have to be the one carrying all of it. Soon, you reach the edge of the harbor. A wooden dock extends out over the water, and when you step onto it, you notice the soft change in sound beneath your feet. The wood still holds a little warmth from the day, though the night air has already begun to cool it. You take a few more unhurried steps, and then, naturally, you stop. Not because you have to, but because something in you recognizes this as a good place to pause, a place where nothing needs to happen next. You rest one hand lightly on the railing, or perhaps on one of the weathered wooden posts nearby. The wood feels smooth in some places and rough in others, shaped over time by wind, salt, rain, and many quiet evenings like this one. In front of you, the water moves with such a calm and gentle rhythm that it hardly feels like movement at all. It simply rises and settles, rises and settles, as though the harbor itself is breathing. And after a few moments, without effort, your own breathing begins to follow. You breathe in, and the chest rises gently. You breathe out, and everything settles a little lower. In and out, nothing extra, nothing missing, just breath, finding its natural pace in the company of the water. Around the harbor, small lights are beginning to appear. A lantern near the end of the dock, a warm window in a building farther down the shore, a soft amber glow resting low against the evening. Their reflections stretch across the water in long, trembling lines, never perfectly still, and yet never chaotic. The light here does not feel bright. It feels kind. It feels like light made for evenings, for softer voices, and for slower thoughts. You remain there for a while, without counting time. Perhaps your breathing is deeper now, or perhaps just quieter. Perhaps your body is already feeling a little heavier against the bed, as though gravity itself has become gentler and more inviting. If any thoughts are still moving through the mind, let them move. You do not need to stop them. You do not need to follow them. You can notice them the way you might notice distant ripples on dark water, and then let them continue outward, fading slowly into the night. And if it feels right, you can let these quiet words rise once more, very softly, somewhere inside. I am allowed to rest. I do not need to carry this whole day any longer. I can be gentle with myself tonight. I can let the night hold what I no longer need to hold alone. I am here. I am breathing. And for now, that is enough. Nearby, a few small boats are resting beside the dock. They are tied loosely, moving only with the smallest rise and fall of the tide. Their ropes hold them safely. Every now and then, there is the soft sound of wood meeting water, or the faintest creak of a line under gentle tension. These are not restless sounds. They are settling sounds, finished for the day sounds, the kind of sounds that tell the nervous system that nothing more is required tonight. Everything important can wait until morning. You look a little farther across the water. The harbor opens into darkness, but not an empty darkness. It feels full in a quiet way, full of cool air, full of distance, full of the slow certainty of night. The horizon is softer now. The line between sea and sky is harder to separate. And that feels restful too. Things do not need such sharp edges here. They do not need to be fully defined. They can blur. They can soften. They can simply become part of the same stillness. If you like, you can imagine that beside you on the dock, there is a small travel bag. Not a heavy one, just a simple one, carrying the last traces of the day. Anything still with you can be placed there for now. A worry, a conversation, a pressure, a question without an answer. You do not need to unpack any of it tonight. You do not need to organize it. You do not need to understand it. You only need to set it down and let your hands be empty for a while. And the moment your hands are empty, something in you softens again. The chest loosens. The neck relaxes. Even the space behind the eyes becomes a little quieter. You have arrived, and the harbor asks nothing more of you than this: to stand here for a little while, to breathe, to be supported, and to let the night begin doing what nights have always done, dimming the edges of thought, lowering the volume of effort, and gently inviting the whole self toward rest. So remain here now, beside the water, with the lantern light reflected softly below, and the evening air moving gently around you. Let your breathing stay easy. Let your body grow heavier if it wants to. Let your mind become less interested in holding on. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to prepare. You are at the harbor now, and for tonight, that is enough. And so you remain here a little longer at the harbor, with the water before you and the night opening more fully around you. You have already arrived, and because you have arrived, there is nowhere else you need to be. The dock beneath you is steady. The air is cool in the gentlest possible way. The lights remain low and warm, resting quietly on the dark surface of the water. There is no need to move the story forward too quickly now. This is the part where everything begins to settle more deeply. The body settles. The mind settles. Even the night itself seems to settle around you. You may notice that your body has become less interested in holding itself up. The shoulders may have softened further. The hands may have found an easier place to rest. The muscles of the face may no longer feel as though they are doing anything at all. Even the eyes, closed or nearly closed, may feel heavier now, as though they too are being welcomed downward. Nothing dramatic is happening. This is only the quiet and ordinary way the nervous system begins to trust the night. The body senses that it no longer needs to brace itself, and so, little by little, without being forced, it begins to let go. Ahead of you, the water continues to move with a rhythm so slow and natural that it hardly feels like movement at all. It rises and settles, rises and settles, and each small shift catches the lantern light in a slightly different way. Long, trembling paths of gold and amber stretch across the surface, changing shape whenever the water stirs, but never losing their softness. Nothing in the harbor insists on staying fixed. Everything is allowed to move a little and then return. There is something deeply restful in that. It reminds you that rest does not require perfect stillness. It only requires safety. It only requires enough steadiness for the body to believe it can release what it has been carrying. The lanterns along the dock burn with the same low, warm light as before. But now that you have been here a little longer, they seem to belong to the night more fully. Earlier, they may have felt like points of light. Now they feel more like companions. They do not brighten the whole harbor, and they do not need to. They only illuminate what is near. The edge of the dock, the grain of the wood, the curve of a rope, the quiet shimmer of water. And perhaps that feels comforting too. You do not need the whole of your life to become clear tonight. You do not need everything to be lit up and understood. It is enough to see only what is close. It is enough to rest inside what is known and let the rest remain soft and dim, less defined than it was before. And that less defined than it was before. And that softening feels deeply appropriate. During the day, so many things ask to be named, decided, organized, and held in place. But not here, not tonight. Out here at the harbor, things are allowed to blend a little. They are allowed to become less exact. And in that gentleness, the mind often finds permission to do the same. Thoughts become less rigid. Questions lose their sharp corners. Even memory, for a little while, loosens and drifts. Nearby, the boats continue to rest where they are tied. One leans slightly away from the dock and then returns. Another sways so gently that it seems to be breathing rather than moving. Their ropes hold them with just enough tension, never harsh, never rigid. There is no struggle between the boat and the tide. There is only cooperation. The water rises, the boat responds, the rope steadies, and the boat settles once more. Watching this, or simply sensing it, you may begin to feel that your own body understands something similar. The bed supports you. Gravity receives you. The breath comes and goes. You do not need to resist any of it. You are being held by many simple things at once. If any trace of the day still lingers, it may appear now not as urgency, but as residue. A leftover tone in the mind, a faint pressure in the chest, a small restlessness in the limbs. If that happens, there is nothing wrong with it. The body does not always release everything all at once. Sometimes it lets go in layers. Sometimes it softens one room at a time. Sometimes the mind grows quiet before the muscles do. And sometimes the muscles soften first, and the mind follows later. There is no correct order. Your rest does not need to look a certain way in order to be real. You may imagine now that the harbor is helping with this in its own quiet way. The cool air can take a little of the heat of the day from you. The dark water can carry a little of the mental noise. The slow rocking of the boats can absorb some of the tension that has nowhere else to go. The lantern light can soften the places inside you that still feel too sharp. You do not have to ask for any of this directly. The harbor simply offers it. That is its nature tonight. To receive, to soften, to hold, and to ask for nothing in return. As you remain here, the space inside your mind may begin to feel wider. Not fuller, but wider. Thoughts are no longer packed so closely together. There may be pauses between them now, little open spaces, tiny moments in which nothing in particular is happening. And those moments can feel surprisingly good. So much of waking life is filled with continuation. One thought leading into the next. One task leaning into another. One feeling attaching itself to the next one. But sleep often begins in the spaces between, in the moments where nothing insists on becoming something else, in the quiet gaps where the mind is no longer compelled to keep building the day. Perhaps now you can feel more clearly the weight of your body resting where it is. The back of the head, the shoulders, the spine, the hips, the legs, the heels, or the feet, or whatever part of you is meeting the surface beneath you. All of it supported. All of it allowed to be heavy. There is a special kind of relief in being heavy when you no longer have to carry yourself. A relief in not lifting, not hovering, not preparing for the next movement, just resting, just being received. The harbor would understand that kind of heaviness. The boats understand it too. When they are tied for the night, they do not try to remain alert. They do not hold themselves above the water. They let their weight settle into the rhythm that holds them. And because they do, they can rest. You may allow the same now. Let your weight belong where it is. Let the bed take it. Let the darkness take the rest. Let the night carry whatever remains suspended. If it feels right, you can let a few quiet words drift through now, not as something to concentrate on, but as something to accompany the slowing. I am allowed to soften. I do not need to keep the whole day alive inside me. I can rest before everything is finished. I can be held without effort. I do not need to solve this night. I only need to be here for it. My body is already moving toward sleep in its own wise and gentle way. Lantern light feels warmer. The small lantern light feels warmer. The small movements of the water feel softer. It is as though the night is drawing a loose circle around you, narrowing the world down to only what can comfort you. This piece of wood, this low golden light, this cool air, this calm water, this easy breath, this moment. Nothing more is required. Nothing more is expected. You might imagine sitting down now, if you have not already, or leaning back slightly, or wrapping yourself in a blanket of quiet, so complete that even the idea of moving feels unnecessary. The harbor no longer feels like somewhere you are visiting. It feels like somewhere that has accepted you, somewhere that expected you without asking for your name, somewhere that knows what tiredness is and does not judge it, somewhere that understands the human need to stop, to lower the arms, to release the jaw, and to no longer keep watch over every small thing. And in that feeling of being accepted, something often releases all by itself. The body no longer needs to explain its tiredness. The mind no longer needs to justify its need for quiet. There is no audience here, no performance, no standard to meet. You are not trying to become restful. You are already entering rest. And once that shift begins, it tends to continue without effort, the way twilight continues into night, the way a tide continues toward the shore, the way a story continues into dream. For a little while longer, stay here with the water and the low lights and the slow breathing of the harbor. Let every breath out be a little more of a release. Let every breath in be simple and unforced. Let your attention keep softening, as though it no longer needs to land on any one thing for very long. You are allowed to drift between the sound of these words and the feeling of the night. You are allowed to blur at the edges. You are allowed to become quiet enough that even your own thoughts begin to sound far away. And if you are still awake enough to notice, you may realize that the harbor is not asking you to go deeper. It is not pushing you toward sleep. It is only remaining as it is, steady, dim, calm, and open. But sometimes that is exactly what allows sleep to come. Not being guided forcefully, not being pulled, only being given a place so safe, so unhurried, and so softly held that the body finally chooses on its own to surrender. So remain here now, in this softer middle place between waking and sleep. And let the harbor keep watch for a while. Let the lights shimmer. Let the boats rest. Let the water move in its quiet rhythm. Let the night continue deepening around you. And let your body continue learning with every easy breath that it no longer needs to carry the day alone. And as you remain here a little longer, the harbor begins to feel less like a place in front of you, and more like a quiet world surrounding you from every side. It is still the same harbor, still held together by dark water, low light, and the patient rhythm of the night. And yet it no longer feels as though you are looking at it from a distance. Instead, it feels as though you have been gently gathered into it. The dock, the lanterns, the soft movement of the tide, the open air, all of it has drawn a little closer without ever pressing in. You are not visiting the harbor anymore. You are resting inside it now. The farther edges of the harbor are almost completely gone now. The shoreline in the distance has dissolved into softness. The exact shapes of things matter less and less. You no longer need to picture every post of the dock or every small reflection on the water. What remains is the feeling of the place. A low golden glow, a dark surface moving slowly below, cool air passing gently through open space, and beneath all of that, a sense that nothing is expected from you anymore. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be finished. Nothing needs to be held together for 1 minute longer before rest can begin. Your breathing may be very light now, so light that it seems to belong not only to your body, but to the whole night around you. Breathing in no longer feels like doing something. Breathing out no longer feels like letting go of something specific. The breath simply continues, quiet and faithful, moving in the same easy way the tide moves beneath the boats. If you still notice it, each exhale may carry you a little lower. If you no longer notice it clearly, that is perfectly fine too. The body does not need your supervision to move toward sleep. It has known this path for a very long time. Thoughts may still appear from time to time, but now they often arrive with less force than before. They seem softer, less fully formed, less capable of pulling you all the way back into the day. A thought may rise and then stop midway. An image may appear and blur before it becomes clear. A memory may flicker and then lose its brightness. Nothing has gone wrong when this happens. In fact, it is one of the quiet ways the mind begins to loosen its hold on waking. The mind is not being forced into silence. It is being dimmed, kindly and gradually, the same way the harbor dimmed around you, the same way the sky darkened without ever becoming harsh. The boats nearby, if you still sense them at all, are now so deeply at rest that they seem to have become part of the stillness itself. Their movement is so small, it no longer asks to be noticed. The ropes no longer creak. The dock no longer answers back with little sounds. Even the water feels softer, as though it too has settled into the later hour of the night. And inside this layered quiet, your own body has become quiet as well. Not stiff, not frozen, not held in place by effort, but quiet in the way a tired body becomes quiet when it finally understands that it does not have to do anything more. If there is still a small part of you that feels slightly awake, slightly watchful, you do not need to do anything about it. You do not need to bring it down by force. You do not need to persuade it to sleep. You can simply let it remain where it is, while the rest of you keeps softening around it. Very often, sleep comes not because every part of us has fully agreed at the same moment, but because enough of us has relaxed enough to let the deeper rhythm take over. The harbor understands this kind of patience. It does not rush the final sound out of the air. It does not hurry the last glow from the water. It simply keeps becoming quieter until quiet is what remains. The darkness around you no longer feels like darkness in the ordinary sense. It feels more like shelter. It is not empty, and it is not closing in. It is resting around you the way a soft blanket rests around a body that has finally stopped resisting rest. The night here is wide, but it is not lonely. It is open, but it is not exposed. It feels as though there is enough room in it for every unfinished feeling, every tired breath, every lingering fragment of the day to simply stop trying and be held without explanation, because nothing here is asking anything more from you. You may begin to feel that you no longer need to stay gathered together in the same way. The sense of having to be fully alert, fully organized, fully aware may begin to loosen. You can drift a little. You can let the edges of the story blur. You can let the meaning of the words soften and simply rest inside their rhythm. This is how many nights carry us into sleep, not through one final clear step, but through a slow surrender of clarity, a gentle lessening of effort, a quiet willingness to stop holding everything so tightly. Perhaps now, if you imagine the harbor at all, you imagine it less with your eyes and more with your whole body. The softness of the air, the weight of the stillness, the patient movement of the tide, the low warmth of distant lantern light, the safe rest of the boats. None of this seems to be happening somewhere outside you now. It all feels as though it exists in the same quiet field that your body is already entering. You are not separate from this place anymore. You are part of its slowing, part of its dimming, part of its rest. If it helps, you can imagine that the harbor is watching over the rest of the night for you. Not closely, not anxiously, just faithfully. The water will keep its rhythm. The dock will keep its quiet. The lanterns will keep their low glow. The boats will remain tied safely in place. Nothing important will be harmed because you have chosen to rest. Nothing good will be undone because you have allowed yourself to disappear for a little while into sleep. The night knows what to do with sleeping things. It knows how to keep them safe. You may not need many more words now. In fact, you may not need any. If you are still listening, you may be listening from farther away than before, as though the sound is reaching you across a little distance. That distance is welcome. It means you are drifting. It means the world of effort is receding. It means the mind is no longer standing at the front of everything, trying to manage the night. It is stepping aside now, gently, so that the deeper and quieter parts of you can take their turn. So if sleep is close now, let it be close. If it is already arriving, let it arrive. You do not need to greet it. You do not need to notice the exact moment it takes you. You do not need to follow every sentence to the end. You do not need to stay with the harbor in a clear and wakeful way anymore. The harbor has already done enough. The night has already done enough. Your body has already done enough. From here, sleep can come naturally in its own time and carry you the rest of the way without effort. For the rest of this night, you can stay here if you like, where the water moves slowly in the dark, and the lights are always soft enough to rest beneath. You can stay where nothing more needs to be explained, where nothing more needs to be finished, where the body can grow heavier and the mind can grow dimmer, and both are quietly welcome. The harbor will not ask you to hold on. The night will not ask you to remain. They will simply receive you, gently and completely, as you drift farther and farther into rest. And now, as the harbor grows quieter still, you can let go as fully as you are able, and then perhaps even a little more than that. Let the dock fade. Let the lanterns grow dim. Let the water become only feeling. Let the feeling become only quiet. Let the quiet become sleep. Good night. Sleep well. And I'll be here again whenever you need to return to Deep Sleep Harbor.